Hey everyone, this is Michael for Spirit Comics. Welcome to my review of The Life of Captain Marvel number 2. I wanted to get the variant cover, but it wasn't available. This cover isn't so bad, but something I've noticed about the covers for this miniseries is that at least the first 3 main covers that I've seen all seem to have the same tone, and her hair seems to have the same tone, just as her suit does. There's no variation. Whereas in her previous series, there was often a variation of the depths of tone in each cover. Anyways, I thank you for stopping by my channel. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe and smack that notification bell hard like She-Hulk so you'll be notified each time a new video is uploaded. And if you do enjoy this comic book review, then please share it with your friends and enemies and everybody so they can enjoy it as well. And do leave your comments down below. Now, I do like the cats on this cover, I will say that much. Oh, and before I mention anything, I do have all of the videos that I've recorded for this month linked down below. Now, I want to tell you all something. People are often hard on Carol Danvers, and that's an understatement. But I want to tell you this. I think it's very important for a comic book to get the reader interested on the very first page. I do. And that's what happened with me. On the very first page, I was drawn into the story, and I'll show you what. I'll show you why. In the previous issue, Carol Danvers finds an old letter that was from her father to another woman. So she didn't know that her father had been cheating on her mother. And as you can see here, Carol Danvers is having trouble breathing. Just breathe, Carol. This is too much. My family's tripping me out. Chewy, that her cat. Meow. And she's thinking about this. That the criminal should never return to the scene of the crime. All the evidence, it's still there. And she saying to the cat, maybe just one more read. She's laying there on the floor, trying to take all this in. And she's looking at her old posters, old action figures, and the old love letters you never knew that your father wrote to some mystery woman. And then her mother yells up at her, Carol, hon, you up? And this is just precious. I think there's a brother-sister type relationship between Tony Stark and Carol Danvers. She says, going home again is like learning how to land when you already know how to fly. You think soaring through the atmosphere is scary? Try coming back down to earth. And there she is on the floor. She's wheezing. She's having trouble breathing. And I love that. Call her. It's just Tony. Don't answer. Can't. I need your help to roll Joe Jr. over. That's fear. And she's scared. This is the end of the first page, and it already had drawn me into the story. Now they do a flashback where it shows when her father, Joseph Danvers, died. Now, the strange part is, I could swear that I remember in the first issue Joe Jr. saying that she didn't even show up for the funeral. So I'm a little bit confused about this flashback. But it's, really, it's some really nice scenery. And, the pastor asked her to give a few thoughts about her father. And at first I thought she was going to say, "I don't want to." And then she says this, which, my father, Pops, he was a worthy opponent. Now, that seems strange when you think about it, but also given the context that Carol Danvers and her brother had to suffer in that household when her father was a drunk all the time and probably beat her mother as well. And so she had to survive through those early years as a child, through her teenage years, through high school, knowing that her father was a drunk and that there was more than likely nothing she could do about it. So I can understand why she would say he was a worthy opponent. And then it's back to the present. And she's still trying to breathe normally. And I love the cat, because for some reason the cat senses that Carol is not well. And then she comes downstairs, and this is funny. Her mom says that she rolled Joe Jr. over, changed everything, made coffee, and said, "You're not the only one with super strength." And then Carol says, "I'll notify the Avengers. Expect a text from Tony Stark or 1,000. And she's not sleeping. She's not sleeping because of what she discovered, that letter. And her mother can sense something is not right, because that's a superpower all mothers seem to have. And it doesn't matter, how old I get, my mother is still going to be my mother, who is wiser than me beyond my comprehension, because she's lived longer than me. And her mom says, "What's going on? Something's been off with you for weeks." And Carol tries to deflect that, making a remark about her brother's traumatic brain injury. And her mom's like, "Maybe I could help." And she says, "Maybe you are a brain surgeon? Maybe you're a brain surgeon?" And she says, "What I am is your mother, Miss Mouthy." I know, Ma. And she's thinking that's exactly why that she cannot tell her about the letter, even if it's killing her. And this is just a darling right here. I love it. Not only because of what her mom says, but the drawing of from the outside view of their house, of the bird there on the branch. She says, "Pancakes or eggs?" "Huh?" "With that coffee, what do you want?" "What do I want?" And she says, "Pancakes it is." And then somewhere over in Canada, something touches down, and this dude thinks it destroyed some sort of transformer, and it looks like an alien ship. Now, this was interesting because it added a new dimension to the story. And you know, this weirdo, this alien, comes out of this strange looking pod, and I think it's the one that was birthed in the previous issue. So we get another shot of Carol Danvers, and I really love that they decide that she still has her long, beautiful hair. I do, because that makes all the difference in the world to me. And she goes to this donut shop to talk to her friend who knows about the letters, and I love this accent. You talked to her yet about the letters? It must be the accent for where she is. And he realizes that she hasn't. He says, "You're a real day brightener, Danvers." That's what I hear. And he tries to cheer her up, reminding her that that's the seat she sat in when she was much younger. And he says, "But she's your mom, and you want to do right by her." And she says, "Oh, my folks and I were never good about talking." And you can kind of understand that. And then he tells her that he would have asked her out, all those years ago when they were much younger, but he was way too young. She said, "The summer I was 14, you came up to my waist, little Louis." And that was the summer I went on my first date. 4th of July fireworks with, "Really, thanks for letting me know. I had no idea." Wade the brain. And, he's trying to make her feel better. Trying to get her laughing, and it's working. And then we switch back to this weird alien who, for some reason, has something on her mouth that prevents her from talking. And she kind of looks like Mystique, but not totally. And you can tell that she doesn't know English because this guy's doing all the talking. But she does pick up phrases, here and there. And she ripped that thing off of her mouth so that she could speak. And he keeps talking and she's listening. And all of a sudden she goes, "Crack!" Just to shut him up. And she uses his phrase, "Sucks for you." So we still don't know much about this person. But we know that she's trouble. And then here's where Carol decides to tell her mother. and it's because it's eating her up inside. And she says, do you know what you want? Hey, you want to know what's been bothering me? And her mom says, you mean aside from the fact that your mother is not a brain surgeon? You know, her mother can be just as, sassy as Carol can. She says, aside from that, I know what's bothering you. I've been waiting for you to bring it up. She says, you have? She says, watching that stupid space cat of yours will be a pain, but I can handle it. Space cat? And she thinks that Carol means that she's going to return to the Avengers. And she says, it's not that. She says, it's about Pops. And you can look at the horror mixed with shock on her mother's face right there. The artist did a great job of depicting that. And she admits that she found his letters to some other woman and apologizes because she couldn't keep it secret, that she couldn't pretend everything was just a-okay, but she needs to know the truth. And you can see the look of the continued look of horror and shock on in her mother's eyes. It's fear. And her mother sits there for a moment, not saying anything. And her mother gets up and starts to walk away, and she's wondering what's going on. And her mother, she says, you don't have to protect him anymore. And she admits to Carol that she didn't want her to find out in that manner, which means, as Carol said, you knew? And in which her mother already knew. And she says, you don't understand, and I don't expect you to. And she's like, of course I don't understand. How could you spend your whole life, defending the dude who didn't even deserve it? And she says, all I can say is I'm sorry. And she's putting it all on herself, where she says, I'm not sure if I'll ever forgive myself. And she says, I loved my husband. He wasn't perfect, but I love him. But I loved him. And she says that, she blamed her husband for a lot of stuff, but just not what Carol thinks. And she says that she couldn't blame her husband for wanting more. And that apparently sent Carol into space, because there she is screaming, more? And she goes, kaboom! Enough, Pops, you've done enough! And I love this. There wasn't an asteroid big enough to punch. Not this time. Not even the moon. And so it's my guess that her dad wasn't giving her mother enough attention, so perhaps that's why she wanted more. And here we see the same alien again, only this time she actually has clothes on, and she activates something, and she's actually wearing a Captain America t-shirt that has his shield on it. And by this panel, it looks like, they're hunting a traitor. But who is it? Well, we're not told in this particular issue, which I have to admit is just beautiful beyond words. I mean, the artwork is wonderful, and the storyline, it just flows so smoothly. And so that alien, takes off driving and passes this trucker, and who yells at her, and she does something, and all of a sudden, she aims this beam at the mirror and deflects back at him. Kaboom! And, that's her way of getting people to shut up. But, I have a feeling, I know where this alien is going. So we see Carol come back home after letting off some steam. And she's thinking maybe it's time for her to say goodbye. And I love this panel right here. It's just beautiful, showing Carol Danvers as she should be drawn, with long, beautiful, flowing blonde hair with a voluptuous chest. And she says, even if I'll miss your stupid face, Joe Jr. And she wakes him up. And she's shocked, and so she yells out to her mom that he's awake. He scared the snot out of me. He's awake. And he says, Ma, Beans, my head, what happened? So they're down at this wharf. And this is just so this is so funny. And Carol says, I don't know, Joe, maybe you're like one of the lobsters Pops used to chuck back into the water, too small to eat. Don't tease him, Carol, because I'm not sure if that's Joe Jr. right there or not, or maybe it's someone else. Maybe they put him in the water to help revitalize him. But that's it for this issue. I'm not going to show the last couple panels because that'll give away what might happen in the next issue. So I hope you enjoyed this issue if you bought it, because it was beautiful. Like I said, the artwork was beautiful, and it was, to me, it was flawless. It was bright, it was hopeful, and the storyline, like I said before, just flowed just wonderfully. So let me know down below in the comments what you thought of it. And if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe and smack that notification bell like She-Hulk, so you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Also, please do share this comic book review with your friends and family and everyone else so they can enjoy it as well. Also, like I said, do leave your comments down below because I do read the comments. So, till next time, true readers, keep on reading and keep on supporting your local comic shop. This is Michael for Spirit Comics.